The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones that are worth suffering for. Even the coolest guy said it. He knew what's up. And when you finally figure out which ones are worth the hurt and which ones are not, then it's going to be easy for you to stop recycling all these situations and people that are not worthy of your emotional suffering, which eventually and inevitably come in most interactions and relationships with people. The reason being is that most relationships are unconscious. It's not that the people are unconscious, like conscious, but they lack the emotional maturity. They lack the emotional intelligence to sustain a relationship going for a long time. And that is just a fact. The other thing is all these myths that exist out there, like the myth of the better half, the idea that there is someone out there in the world who's finally going to come into your life and complete you. And we all know by now that this is a false statement and a false belief, because you are an already complete product. And nothing and no one from the outside world has the capacity, the ability to do that. You know, you see people come and go. They come into your life and they leave, and you're still intact. Your body is still intact. Your mind is still intact. And the only problem becomes all these fake and made up emotions that then create problems in your mind and in your body. That's it. And also when it comes to the people that are close to you, you know, just because someone is a blood relative to you or close to you, you have this idea that they have this irrevocable right to keep doing whatever it is they want without consequences. And all these myths make it very difficult for you to boldly decide who gets to stay in your life and who to say bye-bye to. And in this video, we are going to help you figure out, you know, who gets to stay in your life, you know, those who get to bring a little bit of drama and still get to stay, and those you don't allow even a single negative interaction because it's bye-bye after that. And if you want to learn more about this issue, you want to stop recycling all these harmful things into your life, I have a free template on detachment and also a free ebook on the topic of emotional intelligence. So if you're interested, just go ahead and comment free gifts in the comment section below and I will send it to you. And before we get to the rest of the video, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, here on this channel, I talk about how you can find your passion and go after it at any age, how you can find balance even at the most difficult times in your life, and how you can be happy with the things and the people you already have surrounding you. So if you're interested, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Also, make sure to check out the description box. I have links to my website, my new book, my social media accounts, and so much more. Each and every one of them tailored to help you become your best self. So do check it out. Now, let's get to the rest of the video. So the reason why a lot of us are recycling, and not in a good way, and unable to let go of people is not only because we love that person or we love those people, you know, the more positive reasons, but we're also doing that for things like revenge, fear of being alone, money issues, what other people think of us issues, etc. And we either allow a very destructive relationship, even the most toxic relationships, to keep going, you know, or sometimes we may even go on a begging spree for that toxic relationship to stay alive, you know. Can you imagine deliberately asking for trouble in your life? And obviously, we have to fix this. You have to do something about this. So point number one is to realize that you are a sovereign being, capable of living and thriving on your own. This is not to say that you don't need anybody in your life. It's just to say that you are a being capable of making tough choices and also surviving those tough choices. Even though at first these decisions might make you even physically sick, But at some point, we all have to grow up. You have to get out of your shell, your cocoon, and start realizing that as much as you need people in your life to make your life more colorful and spicier, you also have to realize that you don't have to keep people who constantly put you down, keep people in your life at your expense. And it's time for you to ask questions, real questions within yourself. Look into your life, your early life. Maybe there's stuff that happened there. Maybe there was abandonment. Maybe there were things that happened in your household that make you feel like you always have to be the one to make everyone happy or keep the peace or stuff like that. You just have to look into this because these things are real. And if you really want to stop being around people and situations that create a lot of emotional turmoil within you, it's now time for you to ask, am I capable? Do I have a choice? Do I have a choice other than keeping people at my expense, other than being around people who continuously put me down or are negative or don't add value in my life? And you just have to start asking these questions. You are not at the mercy of your negative relationships. It's funny when I say it like that, but it is what it is. Because sometimes we feel like it's better to be in a toxic relationship or have toxic interactions with people than not to have them at all. And this is a sickness. This is something we have to fix because you can't keep on allowing the outside world to keep taking you for granted, because you see that in people. You see people in your life sometimes, who couldn't care less about you being in their lives. And you're just allowing this to happen because you see it in their eyes, in their gestures, in their words, in their actions, and yet you ignore it. And this is what you have to fix, because this is way worse than you being alone, if that is your fear. This is way worse than you getting out of a relationship that might be comfortable for now, because sometimes we could be comfortable. Actually, our comfort zone most of the time, if we are not changing, is something that we have to look into, because sometimes we could be comfortable with something so toxic that you only realize that the level of toxicity only when you are out of it. So you have to make a decision now to realize that you don't need to be in a negative, toxic relationship, and that you have the choice to let go and move on with your life without having the need to hold on to something that is slowly destroying you. And if you want to know how to permanently let go of things and people no more serving you, I have a video somewhere over here explaining that in detail. I'll also leave the link down below in the description box, so check it out. The other thing is to realize that you are perfectly capable of choosing who gets to stay in your life without guilt. Because this is one of the things that, people use to guilt you into maybe staying in a relationship or doing the things that they want. And you have to really be alert, because even, sometimes the people that you think would have your best interest at heart, they do this. They use guilt as a means of getting something out of you. And when you realize that this is their method, the narcissist's method of keeping you in a situation that's constantly draining you, you're not getting anything out of this interaction or relationship, and yet the other person is shamelessly and continuously taking advantage of you, you have to know that you are perfectly capable of making a decision. Whether that decision is to let go of this person or, have some sort of a boundary, you can do it without ever allowing any manipulation or guilt tripping. And you have to decide now and look into the true intentions of people and, make your decision. Because sometimes it's easier to let go of a person who seems to have a pattern. They have this way of draining your energy continuously and not really feeling anything about what their actions are doing to you. And there are those who maybe you can fix that interaction by introducing some sort of a boundary. You decide. Point number 2 is it's all a psychological game and not the truth. So we've already talked about you being able to live and thrive with the people, with only the people who care for you. And those who don't, they will show their true color sooner or later. But sometimes the problem is, by the time you're onto them, by the time you realize their true intentions, you have already created this mental image, this image about your life with them. And this could make it difficult for you to let go because of that fantasy you have in your mind. But the thing that you have to know is that these people are doing it intentionally, and they will take advantage of you. They'll take advantage of this knowledge they have about you. They'll take advantage of your vulnerability, of your kindness, of your own ignorance or blindness to your own power that you can exercise right there and then. And you have to know that these people should be first to go, because these ones are doing it intentionally, because they know you know, and they still don't care. And you have to be strong enough to realize that this image that you had in your mind was false all along. You have to forgive yourself. You have to be easy on yourself. You need to practice self-compassion, because sometimes we could be duped into any sort of interaction or relationship with people, and we had no idea. And there's no point in beating yourself up. But the moment you realize that the true intention of those people, and you realize that you have the power to do something about it, you have to act. Point number 3 is to realize that there is no void to fill when a negative energy leaves your life. Because this was just a negative and a separate energy that was just latching itself to you, to the positive aspect of your life. Because if a person was nice to you at first, and then they slowly become, or maybe out of nowhere become jealous and judgmental, it doesn't mean that they changed through time. It just means that they didn't yet have the right triggers to show you their true color. And their true color is unconscious and egotistic character that you don't need in your life. You don't need this, because you are not their coach. You are not responsible, and you don't need to suffer through their growth while you're not even getting paid for it. So this is the kind of mentality that you need to adopt sometimes. It could be harsh, but it is the truth. Sometimes there is a lot of growth to be done on a person, that the only way for you to live or to be around this person is to really suffer through all their antics and their immaturity. And I'm sorry, but you don't need to do this. You are allowed to be around people who could help you grow, who could help you in so many ways in your life to grow, to expand your consciousness, because life is short and you want to spend it with people who are actually going to help you advance your life, and for you not to continuously give and give to a person that is yet to experience any sort of maturity. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to recycle plastics and not people, and you're good to go. And I will see you on my next video.